Sometimes when you take things for granted, you might not really like the outcome. Welcome back to Tales. My name is Fumi. In this video, it's a drive-through from Ikeja to the Lagos airport, also in Ikeja. A journey that should have taken about 20 minutes, but turned out to take about 45 minutes. And there was no traffic. It was just because I had overestimated and undervalued the fact that things could happen on the way, even on a drive-through on a weekend. So this video was shot on a weekend and I wanted to try a different route because I thought, hey, we have a little bit of time on our hands. Why not take a different route and see what the road is like? But that turned out to be one of the worst decisions ever. Thankfully, it wasn't a case that we had to miss the flight, but lesson learned. So this is the traffic light stopping us just at the Allen, used to be the former Allen roundabout. So the traffic light stopped and I wanted to admire the buildings here. On Lagos roads, you'd get the typical people selling to you. This is some guy selling me cheese balls. And now when the light turned green, I decided to go straight ahead. Just ahead in the video, you would find the mobile filling station that got burnt a few weeks back completely. The inferno was so huge. I'll link a picture right here. You can tell from the video that it was so peaceful, so calm, so serene. So I thought to myself, instead of going through the Obafemi Awolowo road, or rather Obafemi Awolowo way, which I'm used to navigate myself to Lagos airport, why not take the Kudirat Abiola way? Now, if you're very familiar with Ikeja, then you know that the government recently has fixed a beautiful flyover, a new road in Ikeja. But I was not aware of this, and that's where the story begins. If you're going to the airport from Ikeja, there are different routes to take. One, from the former Allen roundabout, you can turn left and go inside Allen, later turn right towards Toyin Street, bust out of customs, and navigate yourself to the international airport. If you're going through this route, which is the Obafemi Awolowo way in Ikeja, once you get to the end of the road at the traffic light, turn left. Now that takes you towards Lassus, the General Hospital. There's also a traffic light there, and then at the traffic light, turn right. That takes you towards the international airport. But I decided to take a different route, as you'd see in the video. At the traffic light here, I was supposed to turn left, which takes me to the Lassus, the General Hospital, but I went straight ahead. Straight ahead, I realized there was a flyover, a newly constructed bridge, which I was aware of, but I'd never gone through this route. There was a flyover and I decided to take the bridge. Now, taking the bridge takes you to the Agege Motor Road. I guess I should have gone under, but I didn't know. So we got stuck in traffic. This was where the very first traffic we found. And meanwhile, this was around 6 o'clock thereabout. And we had a flight to catch for 10 p.m. Boarding starts at 7, but we're still on the road as at past 6. At this point, you're thinking, what do you do? There's traffic ahead. Do you make a turn? You are not allowed to make a turn on the bridge, even though you might be tempted because you're not seeing any uniformed officials, but it is against the law, it is against traffic rules and regulation. So your best bet is to wait it out, turn on your GPS and hope for the best and pray that nothing gets worse from here. Now it gets interesting. Now, even though the traffic was moving gradually, it wasn't one to stop me from still admiring nature, admiring the people, admiring the yellow buses that Lagos is known for. Once we came out of the bridge, it seemed pretty fine, but at this time we're already on Agege Motor Road. This is completely different from where we should be, completely. So we had to make our way round and make a U-turn because we're just approaching yet another traffic. This place is known for traffic during the week. If this journey was made during the week, then it would have been a completely different story because I'm sure there's no way we would have made the airport at the time we did. So we went to the GPS, Google asked us to make a U-turn. We finally made a U-turn and the story gets interesting because when we did, we started to appreciate the amount of infrastructure that has been constructed in this part of town. Who would have known? So this was the flyover I believe we came from, and it was only constructed in the last 4 years to ease traffic in this route. A lot of people are so thankful and grateful as you read on the news. There are also pedestrian bridges for pedestrians to cross, so you don't have to cross the major highway to get to the other side of the road. And you find so many people using the pedestrian bridges as opposed to crossing this flyover or the main expressway. There are quite a number of infrastructures that have taken shape in the city of Lagos very recently. You have the Mushin flyover, you have the Yaba bypass, you have this one located in Ikeja that links you towards the airport and also the Ikeja train station. I mean, there's so many things to be grateful for that you look at and you're wishing, like you just hope that things can get better, more improvement, and most importantly, that we're able to maintain these infrastructures in the years to come. So finally, when we got to this route, it was more familiar. I mean, I knew this route like the back of my hand. So it was safe to say that I didn't really need to rely upon the Google or GPS anymore. So I just knew to go with my gut and follow. And like I said, the traffic was free. But you get to really appreciate the yellow buses, which are called the downfall buses. The downfall buses usually do not maintain steers. They could drive anyhow, so you have to be very careful not to drive beside them or behind them. Beside them in the sense that you don't want them scratching your vehicle, and behind them in the sense that you don't want them losing their brakes and just hitting your car. So you have to be very careful. So this is the popular route to the airports. If you're connecting from anywhere, you'd find yourself here. And when you get here, you know that you are on the right track. Very soon you find the popular NNPC filling station to your right. You find an army truck of soldiers that are securing the area. And you also find a mini roundabout that takes you towards the airport. By your right is the local airport. By your right over there is local airport, and straight down is the international airport. Ever since the ban of Okada in Lagos, popularly known as the motorbikes, you have to be very careful and plan your time before you get to the airport. And I'll say this, before now, if you were ever stuck in traffic, all you had to do was beacon on any Okada guy up on the bike and it will take you straight to the airport. But that's not the case anymore. You're not allowed. In fact, you wouldn't even find any Okada plying this route. The one ahead of me, I'm sure, has some security backing him. Other than that, you would ordinarily not find any motorbike in this area. That building has been under construction for so many years and now abandoned. So this is what the road to the international airport looks like. On your right are car parks for the local airport too. So if you're traveling intrastate to other states of the country, you can use the local airport too. The very first local airport was the one to your right I mentioned earlier. The journey to the airport is so serene. You have different structures like the naval base here, and there's so many trees, so the air around here is pretty clean. So in summary, wherever you're coming from, Victoria Island, well, let's just break it down into the island or the mainland. You have to leave wherever you're staying very, very early, all right? Because you can be stuck in traffic. Also ensure to use your GPS to check real-time traffic conditions, because Lagos traffic, like I said, can be very, very unpredictable. So having an up-to-date map will really help you. And also, if you can, go with someone that is familiar with the area. So I wouldn't advise you to just rely on the GPS, because sometimes that would fail you. Also, stick to major roads. This is not the time to maneuver or to become adventurous like I did. Stick to major roads that are well maintained and would get you very close to the airport. Avoid side streets because they might also be congested and also confusing. If there was one thing that really helped, was following road signs. There's so many street signs that would really navigate you to the airport in good time, so ensure to follow those as well. That said, have you ever had any experience where you were traveling and you got stuck either in traffic here in Lagos or anywhere in the world and you missed your flight, or you were very close to missing your flight? It would be really nice to know that in the comments. It is also very important to state here that traveling or going to the international airports in Lagos, you'll be asked to pay a toll. Now, the toll payment usually before now was just cash payment, but thankfully they've introduced card payments, which is really good if you don't have cash or you're saving your cash for later. So approaching the international airport, you'll be asked to pay toll. At the time of this recording, the toll payments for cars was just 300 naira. So the payment is around 300 to 500 depending on the kind of vehicle you're coming in with. So this is approaching the toll, and here is where the second or another story ensued in the video. So when we got to the toll, we decided to, or rather we elected to pay using a card, and unfortunately they didn't have any working card machine, so we're asked to just go in and park just right here at this stop, which we did. So we would think that within a few minutes whoever the operatives would come with a card machine, but this wasn't the case. We were parked here for about 5 minutes, and unfortunately cars behind us needed to pass through. So smaller cars could pass through, but all of a sudden we saw a truck behind us that was stuck and couldn't pass through. The truck driver was pretty adamant. He didn't want to go back. He just wanted to stay. And you have a lot of security operatives, soldiers, policemen around here who insisted that he moved, but he was being adamant and was being very, very reluctant. The truck driver insisted going nowhere. I mean, sometimes you find very difficult people on the road like that, and it's best to just stay calm. First of all, we overcame the obstacle of almost missing the flight because we had taken the wrong route, but thankfully traffic was very, very light. And now getting to the airport, you know that you're very close to the airport, and getting to another obstacle because you're finding someone that is very difficult, it's best to just stay calm and hope for the best. And that's exactly what happened. Because after a few minutes waiting on that spot, another truck conveying some soldiers came and ordered the truck driver to move and allowed us to go. In fact, they waived us paying any toll fee, so that was in our favor. Even though we were already getting a bit apprehensive, but we still got to the airport just in time. And like I said, the road right now has been newly constructed. If you're not aware, you can easily go to the departure as opposed to going to arrival, or going to arrival as opposed to going to departure. So watch out for the road signs. They can be very, very helpful. And there you have it. We finally got to the airport in the nick of time. All of this seemed like it would have taken about 2 hours with all of the obstacles and everything, but it took about 30 minutes or less. So ensure that you stick to time, ensure you leave early, ask questions, and don't explore. Going to the airport is not one of those days you choose to be adventurous. Just stick to the route, stick to what you're used to, and it will definitely work for you. The different terminals now, there's a new terminal and the old terminal, but the new terminal links to the old terminal. So if you're going on a journey, I wish you a safe trip. And if you're coming into the country, welcome back home. Or if you're a tourist or a traveler, welcome to Nigeria. This is the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. It is a tier 1 airport, and although certain things are not like it used to be, but compared to other places, it is not bad. So I'll see you again in my next video, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you enjoyed about this video, and if you've watched till the end of this video, it would be nice for you to like the video and also subscribe. Tell me what you love about the city of Lagos, and I'll see you again in my next video.